Hello, Hangman. How's it going? So here I am, sitting in front of your build, ready to pick it apart. So, the biggest thing here is I'm going to play around with the armor layout quite a bit. I did pull it apart a little bit earlier, and you don't need this particular part here. This thing is attached to the back of the cab, so it'll do just fine. Also, you could sink it down a little bit, and your autocannon will still shoot just fine over the top of your cab. Yes, the sneaky spear. I don't have a sneaky spear. I'm not going to put the money towards it. I've already spent enough on the Duster cab itself. Now, one thing you might think about doing is making shoulder mounts for these autocannons. Let's go ahead and put all this back, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's get these grills. You've got the grills thing figured out, which is great. A lot of people miss that little tiny detail. So let's move these guys out of the way. I'm going to try to keep those on your build if I can. That's as low as that's going to get, huh? We can work with that. I just want to try to get these side by side as much as possible. You don't have any more of those little grill parts. Ah, you're using them back here. Got it. So I'm going to use these pretty much exclusively as gun mounts. So let's test drive this. See how much they get in the way. You're going to have a little bit of pop-up here. That might not be something we can change, though. Unless we do this. There we go. Everything's still connected to the back of the cab. They're on gun mounts, so they're sturdy. We're going to armor them up a little bit, though. I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to get rid of that. Do you want a generator on your build? It's just a little bit of a question to ask if you want to ramp things up a little bit. As far as the sneaky spear goes, with its being behind you right here and only sticking out so far, you're very likely to run into issues with the explosive damage actually damaging your own vehicle. And yes, I did enter the competition. Sorry, I apologize for being distracted, but I'm in the middle of this. I'm going to go ahead and put two of these up in front of your engine, since I've moved your gun to the back. We can leave it open topped. It's kind of an interesting look for it. Yeah, they took it off. Go figure. So, I'm going to need to widen all of this up a little bit. Let's see, that should be 8 wide. So we can use... no, we can't. It's 6 wide. I assume you want to stick with Scavenger parts too, right? So, we're going to run into weight issues pretty bad here. Go figure. I'm going to replace these for not steering wheels, racing wheels, see if that helps a little bit. Yeah, that happens. What factions do you have? Okay, so GCD. Easy to find. Let's put this back on here. Because if we can, I'm going to put avia panels back here instead of this. Or we could just do a canvas roof. That'll be more than enough armor in your back ends, especially since you're not protecting anything. Now, how much space do we have here? As for these guys, oh, you have 8 nomads, cool. One thing we might try doing is sticking them underneath here and having tailpipes stick out the bottom. Cool. We do have the problem where these are not covered by the cab whatsoever. How do I want to deal with that? That's not gonna work. Might just have to do this. Amusing and interesting. That can be taken as an insult. Just kidding. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm going to take this off and try to snug it back in. This will lower the weight limit problem that I was running into. Because apparently I can get fenders on the thing without any problem whatsoever. Alright, avia panel large, stick that on the back. So, these front wheels. Let's take these off. Maybe. You do you, man. So we can, in fact, get those there. It's just a matter of, well, we could. Nope. I want to try moving these back. And let's get a bumper on here. What I want to do is get at least something covering your front wheels. Just a little bit. Ooh, there's an idea. Let's take this, rotate it like that, and that'll create a little bit less work overall for us. That's not going to get anywhere further up front. I'm going to move this up here just to get him out of the way for a second. What I want to do is find my avia panels again. I'm using avia panels because weight limit. Also because these things are not symmetrical. They're asymmetrical, so it causes a little bit of a problem for me. If I get rid of this, put this here instead, then we'll get a little bit more armor up front. Let's try that. Okay, so these horns just are kind of a thing that make me happy. and they cover your front wheels. We don't necessarily need to stick out this far forward, I think. Let me try something a little different underneath the bottom here. So this is 6. How can I do a 5? Boom. Sorry, talking on YouTube. This will be the first time I've ever actually done this while having a conversation with the person that I'm doing the build for. Alright. Now, how do we feel about, how does your build feel about this? It doesn't want that at all. That wheel's too big. YouTube says hi back. Okay, what do we got going on under here? Now there is a way to get this to stick out a little further back, but the question is it necessary? There will always be a little bit more playing with it. Here, let's make some little wheel hubcaps here. Cover up those back ends there. Let's get this guy back on your build, and these can pretty much go wherever you want. Do you want them right up front, or do you want them closer to the back? Doesn't matter, it's your build. Looks like an old granny with spectacles on this way. Let's put them back towards the front. Okay, so let's test the speed out. Still really slow. I might trash these wheels back here for something a little smaller. I don't have anything smaller. Go figure. I'm gonna try a medium wheel. I spent entirely too much money on that duster cab. Oops. Okay. I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to do about the speed issues that we're having here. Oh no, it gets up and goes nice and quick now. This will work out just fine. And if you still want your stabby stick, you can do that. Or, what else you have here is a little bit more space in back, and you could put a cooler or even an engine in, a larger engine in the back. Let's see if I put it. Cheetah's not going to fit. Go figure. Let's see. But doing this, you'll focus more on your guns as your primary source of damage. The sticks, if you had a closer range vehicle, that would make more sense to me, but I don't feel the explosive spear for this particular build that much. Let's go ahead and swap this out for a better looking part. I know you have lunatics, so you can do this. Lunatics meets scavengers, right? That's what you wanted? Now, we don't have any fuse points over here, so we can't actually armor up the back end, or the front end of these guns anymore. But what we can do is for the back end, you can grab a hold of either like these strike plates. I know you probably don't have those yet. So, where is it? There it is. Van ramp. Not necessarily the best looking thing in the world. No, that's not going to work either. I like the idea of it, it's just the execution is flawed. I think that looks a little better than the van ramps. Not by a heck of a lot, but it's something. Anyways, that'll protect your guns from a little bit of fire from the rear. And you should still be able to shoot down back here. Yeah, see? Play around with it. Play with different parts, see what you come up with. Like, for instance, you could just switch them like this, and that would actually provide you a little bit more cover. It's not the best looking part, but the concept is the same. Whoops. Another thing you could try is actually taking one of these bumper spikes and sticking that on the back end. Of course, everything that sticks up is just looking kind of crappy. Again, you probably don't have these parts. I like that look, relatively speaking. But think about something to put on the back end there. Yeah. So let's compare. Go into the build, we have our max speed and our acceleration. Our acceleration, if you take a look, it's just at the end of the first 0 on 4500, whereas the build prior to that was way back here. So you've gained that much acceleration. And I think your top speed's a little higher too. Nah, top speed the same. Armor's up. It's armored up a little bit better. You've got a bit more front end protection. And if you really wanted to, you could still take this gun, put it down here, and leave this one in the back. Regardless. I think that's good for now. I'll go ahead and post this up on the exhibition for you. And then I'll actually talk to you in game. Anyways, peace.